Impact Africa Television, IATV. My name is Ayo Durojaye, and today I caught up with an icon. I caught up with the wife of a revered political figure in Nigeria, well known as Titi Abubakar. Well, she was born Amina Titilayo Atiku-Abubakar in June 6, 1950. She's a women and children advocate who has made a name for herself. Good morning. How are you doing? Now we'll get to it. You are the proper Elisha woman, Yoruba woman, who united or got married to a Fulani man. This is a time, even now, we're even looking at some time in the past where intertribal marriages are not usually very, very warmly embraced. How are you able to handle that union at that early stage?
It's okay. You know, I was born bred in Lagos, and I attended school my primary school was in Lagos, St. Matthias Primary School, and my secondary school was in Iwo, St. Mary's. I attended St. Mary's school, and I finished. We were the first set of the school. And I finished in 1969. And I was born Titilayo and renamed Amina by my husband. And, you know, it happened. You know, during the holidays, some people were traveling. And I used to have an aunt at the Republic of Benin. Okay. So I traveled with them. It was on my way coming, and I had just finished my school set examination, so it was a free time for me. I traveled. So when we were coming back, you know, I was given some pieces of materials by my aunt. So when we got to Idiroko, so, you know, the custom officers harassed me. They said I had to pay duty, and I told them, I said I was a student, that I had no money to pay. So not knowing, this man was in his office and, you know, all the things going on, he was watching. And he just called the officers. Why are you people stressing that lady? So they said, excuse me, sir, she has some materials. I will ask her to pay, and that is it, sir. So they said, call the lady. So when I came to him, he said, madam, that you have to pay duty. Then I said, excuse me, sir. I was, you know, that I just finished my school cert. And I traveled, and I have no money to pay. So then he asked me the question. He said, what will happen if he should help me pay the money? So I was just looking because, you know, it didn't occur to me. And actually, he called the officer, and he gave them £2. And he should go and pay the duty. I think the duty then was about £1.70. And the duty was paid. And why doing this? Why giving them the money? You know, he had my passport, or they call it laissez-passer. He had it with him. And he had taken down all my information on the passport. So he paid, and they brought the change, and he gave everything to me with the receipt. So he said, madam, when are you going to pay me back my money? So I said, maybe next year, if I happen to come this way again. It's okay. So he allowed me to go. So I left. 3 days after that, you know, they came calling that I had a visitor. I said, visitor? What? Hey. And I was with my mom. So my mom was watching, and, you know, that what have they come to whisper to me? She doesn't understand. So I managed to go. So when I went, I saw the visitor. So it was the visitor that helped to pay the duty. Oh, my God. So he said he had come to see me. I said, see me. He came with a friend, and that friend is still living, Yusuf. So he said he had come to see me. I was jittery because mommy is already, where is Titi? Go and call her. So I couldn't stay much with him. So the following day again, he came. So when he came, then the friend started talking that, look, lady, we want to come and marry you. That there are two types of people in this world. The deceitful ones and the truthful ones. But we have not come to deceive you. That actually my friend wants to marry you. I was looking at him and said, this one is fairy tales. Oh. Who are you telling tales to? So they said we should go and watch football. I said, football? Football?
You weren't interested in
football? No, not that I'm not interested.
Did you want to go out with them?
No, how can I go out with strangers? So I said, football. I said, no, my mother will never allow me to. I said, I cannot go and watch football. And, you know, I said, you know, we are very close to Onikon Stadium. That is where the stadium is in Lagos. So I said, apart from the ones, you know, the inter-schools they play, and we said students should go and sit there and watch. I said, I don't even know where Onikon is placed, that I was not going with them. So they looked, they don't know what to do. Anyway, I escorted them. When I escorted them, the man left. And I thought that was going to be the end.
You didn't like him at that point?
No, not that I didn't like him. You know, I was grateful because he paid my duty. But I didn't know that it was, to him, it was going to lead to another thing. But he, you know, I later learned from him that he said, you know, that God has spoken to him that day, that he was going to meet with his wife that day. But I didn't know. But this man kept coming. And you know, the roads there were very bad. Especially the road from Idiroko, all these places were very bad. This officer, he kept coming. Anytime he closes from work, he's at my doorstep. I said, what is this man looking for? This Hausa man. What am I going to tell my mother?
At what point did that resistance then turn to love, really?
This is where I'm going to. Okay. So he kept coming and coming. And somebody went to tell my mom that they don't understand, that there is one Hausa man that is always in this you know, environment every night. So my mother called me and said, I heard they said one man, one Hausa man. Do you know it's a taboo for Yoruba to marry Hausa? That they said the man is from Gongola. That where is Gongola? That is not even Hausa from Kano. It's not Hausa from Kaduna. That he has never heard of Gongola, that I'm going to get lost to. Mama kept, you know, she was talking, and this man will never let me go. It's like my mother was going from house to campaigning to people that please go and campaign to my daughter. I don't know why it's Gongola. But eventually, you know, because he kept coming and the love was growing. So, you know, the rest is history. So we, you know, they made him pay double down bride price. They calculated and calculated. This man said he doesn't mind. That because he has been told that that day was going to meet his wife, and he met. So we got married. And
in Lagos,
yes,
for the major part of your life up until that time. And I don't know if you had any Hausa interaction before that time.
No.
Being newlywed,
I don't have.
Being newlywed to him, did language cause a barrier? Were there culture issues here and there when you were newlywed?
No, there was no barrier, but it was when the mother visited us. I find it difficult, you know, to communicate with them. So, and I know they too, they will not like it, but this is their son's choice. So we were trying to, you know, we were just doing it. So eventually, you know, they came to like me. And, you know, I was doing things for them, and I think when I had my first baby, it was with my sister, and they all came to my sister's house. Though we were living in Lagos, but my sister will never let me be in my house. I'm always at Victoria Island to have my babies with my sister. So they all came and they were very happy. Eventually, I learned the language.
Now, being in that environment, married to, at that time, a customs officer, he wasn't very much at home, was he? Was he available, like helping to raise the children when, you know?
Yes, he was. We were always together.
As much as you wanted?
Yes. Because we lived in Antoni village.
Okay.
Yes, he was always there for the children. All the transfers and everything, we carry our children. They got to a point when I say the children's education will be disrupted. So I had to, you know, stay in Kaduna. And, you know, and even when he wanted to marry me, you know, they told him, they said, this girl just finished school set. and you want to come and take our daughter from us.
I want to know how you were able to handle that change at that young age. You were, a fresh school leaver.
Fresh school leaver.
Very young, very
young.
innocent.
Yes.
How were you able to adjust to that new environment?
It was God. And, I wasn't, I'm not a lazy person. Okay. And I combined both together, both my academics. And, my sister said, this girl had not finished school. And you are just bent that you want to marry her. He told them, he assured them. He said, I'm going to do everything for her. I promise you, I'm going to. And he did all those things for me. I started in Kaduna Polytechnic. I started with certificates in hotel management. And when I had my first baby. Then the second one, I started Kaduna Polytechnic. And I went to school with pregnancy. And, I even delivered. I came home to deliver. Then my mother went to Kaduna to stay with me to do my exams. And after that, I did my OND, I did my HND. I even did beyond that.
I'm not surprised, with all
Yes.
these things, the way he's committed to you.
No, very committed.
Abubakar is someone most people would say, well, he's a romantic. I like to believe he's a ladies' man, essentially. Now, being married to him at that young age, you've been able to keep the marriage for 47 years or more at this time. Was there any time, that you struggled with any challenge at any point in time? And this is an age where younger people are being taught and, urged to be careful. Someone who maybe, for example, a polygamous home now, and keeping a marriage in that environment for 47 years, essentially, what should a young person, listening at this point, learn in keeping a home for a long time, no matter the circumstances
Yes,
that surround them?
I'm myself, and I don't believe, I'm just myself, and I so much, I don't interfere in anything any person is doing. Like, I'm content with myself. I don't complain. I'm a very content person. I know how painful it is, especially when my husband started getting other wives. But I don't even look at her. I look at myself, I look at my children. Because
How easy is it, though, to just overlook things?
you just overlook things, because I have my life to live. If you want to start thinking of all those things, it will bring problem to your life. You understand? But if you just focus on your life, focus on your children, be a focused woman, and, all these things about polygamy, I don't even know that there are other wives. Let me be frank to you, because this is me. I'm very focused, and I do what I want to do. I like dressing. I don't know how to put it across to you, but I don't mind whether there are other women or there's no other woman. I know of myself.
As long as he's doing...
As long as it's duties to me.
Now, I would also like to know, being a woman and child advocate, did something happen in maybe your past that made you very sensitive to the rights of women, so much so that, to the best of your capacity, you're out there helping women, helping children? Did something really happen in the past?
Yes. You see, my mother, she keeps children. There are so many children staying with her. So we all love to, maybe I took this from her, because she has a lot of children that she was taking care of them. And I got that from my mom. So we all live together, we do things together. So maybe that is why...
That's what you picked up.
Well, that is why I picked up, yes.
We'll take a break. We'll continue in moments. Stay with
It's
us.
okay.
Hey, welcome back. It's still Impact Africa Television. I'm still having that special chat with Her Excellency Titi Atiku-Abubakar. We're talking about that interesting meeting between, that very daily meeting between yourself and Alhaja Titi Atiku-Abubakar, and There was something you wanted to mention earlier.
It's okay that maybe what drew him close to me, that I gave him a second thought, is about his integrity. For an officer, and is the Oga at the top, that he didn't just ask me to just go away. That I had to bring out money from his pocket, to pay that duty that day. And, maybe that is what actually attracted him to me. That he's a man of integrity. He would have even asked me that day to go, without me paying. But he did that. And being an officer in charge, he would have said, please just give her her things and let her go. But he brought out money and he paid the duty for me.
At the time you got married to him, did you have any inkling that this is someone who would be the vice president or maybe even the president?
No, not at all. No, at all. No. Even he himself. I know, when he was in school, he was a member of a students' union. But he never thought as well that one day that he's going to be the vice president of Nigeria.
So how were you able to adapt to the title, to the position, when the title finally came?
I told you that I'm just myself. I didn't feel anything.
Even when you were, under scrutiny in some ways, you were the wife of the #2 citizen of the country.
I just do what I want to do. I'm just myself. My doors were open to people. People come to see me, and anytime they like. I don't shut my door against anybody. I don't feel anything. I just feel normal. That is why I told you that I don't even know that maybe there are others there.
Did that take him away from home or from you, having to serve the country in one capacity or the other? You had to travel a lot. Did that take him away from home? And did that affect, the relationship at any point?
It doesn't affect the relationship because the children are already grown. And even me, then I was very busy in the villa. I have so many things to do. And I will even tell you that it was even in the villa that I went to university, I did my